Oh, he's missed it. Alanga's missed it. We're out. Never looked confident. Oh, me.
Do you know what? See, at the end of the day, though, 18-year-old or 19-year-old steps up.
Well, look at what happened to Bukayo Saka at the Euros. So much pressure to put on a young guy. But what did I say? The FA Cup, another massive chance for United to win silverware. Gone. Out. Massively disappointing.
Yeah, massively.
I don't know how we didn't win that in 90 minutes, to be honest.
Yeah, massively disappointing. And you know what? I've seen a lot of comments already on Twitter, saying, joke, we played awful, but, it's not like that. It's an unfortunate set of circumstances. We've lost on penalties. Alanga, probably one of the toughest jobs in the world. The pressure must have been astronomical, and unfortunately he's missed it. But this happens. This is what the competition's all about. You get upsets. You get the unbelievable sometimes, and unfortunately, it's not gone our way. Feel very sorry for Alanga there. Very unfortunate.
Just so tough, and it's going to be tough for the young lad to get his pecking up again. I mean, we saw what happened off the back of the Euros, didn't we? We saw Rashford miss. We saw Saka miss, didn't we? And the aftermath of all that was just so disgusting, wasn't it? Let's just hope that this guy gets, the kind of help that he kind of gets from his teammates at Manchester United. This is where the big characters in Man United have to step up and console Alanga and tell him that this is tough, but there's better times ahead. Look like what Arsenal did with Saka when he missed in that Euros final against Italy. It must be soul destroying for Alanga right now. I've never played the game, but I've watched a lot of football, and I feel so much sympathy for players who miss penalties. It's absolutely superb for a goalkeeper when they save them. You're the hero, everybody's dancing with you, it's fantastic. See, when you miss a penalty and you're the person that's missed it and your keeper hasn't had to make a save for it, that's tough. That really is tough.
Absolutely, and I'm sure he'll pick himself up. He's got the players around him. He's got obviously the management team, and it will be heartbreaking for him. Absolutely soul destroying, but you can only hope that he picks himself up. Listen, we need to sort of clutch at straws, really. Obviously, the FA Cup, the Champions League, very far-fetched that we could win that, and the league is gone. And ultimately, someone's just put in the group chat, we've just got to work out next season. We've just got to, forget this season and go for next season. He's absolutely right. Too much has happened. Ollie's gone. Not saying he was the best manager, but it's certainly disrupted the ship. And, we've got, as I say, as fans, you want to win everything. You want to clutch at straws.
Can I just come in here a minute? There will be a lot of outlets tonight who will blame Ralph Rangnick for us going out of the FA Cup. Ralph Rangnick didn't miss those chances tonight. Manchester United players did. That's all I'm going to say.
Absolutely right. I think we've seen a turn in form recently. I think we've started to see a lot better pressing, quick football. I think that was obviously emphasised by Pogba tonight. But it's not Ralph's fault. You're absolutely right.
I mean, I've got the stats here, Mark, just for everybody watching in. 71% possession, 30 shots at goal, 9 on target. That's embarrassing. Less than a third of our shots that we've had at goal on target. I'm afraid that's pitiful. That's not good enough at all. You have to say, Boro, congratulations. We must say that on the channel. We must say congratulations to Boro. They held themselves in the game, but those stats are damning.
Damning indeed. Marcus, thanks for joining us, buddy. What a disappointing result in the end, but what a great performance. We just didn't take our chances, as the boys have alluded to many times. But talk to me about how you're feeling right now, man.
Yeah, it's just honestly, I don't know anymore. You kind of try to be positive about Manchester United. I actually remember vividly on the show last year. When was it? I think it was after the Leeds game. I said something to the effect of, we could possibly win the Champions League this year, because Ollie and knockout football, the two things that go together. But yeah, in all seriousness,
game really got us carried away, didn't it?
Yeah. But you see, I don't think we were being carried away though, because when you sign Varane and Sancho and Ronaldo, you would at least expect to beat a championship side. You know what I mean? And I was talking to a Liverpool fan actually during the game, and I was just like, I'm not even mad at tonight's performance. I'm just confused because I refuse to believe that our players are worse than Middlesbrough. And in terms of the actual game itself, we actually weren't that bad. But it was
I thought
just
we
a
were
case
very
of not
good,
taking our
actually.
chances. Yeah,
Yeah,
I thought we were very
Marcus.
good.
We were saying this at the beginning. Listen, you don't want to get carried away. We're playing a championship team, but
Yeah,
sometimes
yeah.
they're the hardest. They're the hardest to play,
I
and
think
we've seen many times United have struggled against lower block teams. Wasn't a
Yeah.
problem tonight, and teams that, you know, it's just always written on the wall that we're going to struggle. But I thought tonight, every single player should be proud of themselves. I thought they were excellent. I thought Pogba was excellent. I thought Sancho was excellent. Rashford
Yeah.
was going at them and he was brilliant. Henderson, we spoke about this earlier, Marcus. I don't know if you want to wade in on this, but I don't want my goalkeeper getting player of the month. I want it to be that Henderson steps up as and when he needed to, and he did on a couple of occasions tonight. Seemed a bit more commanding, and I'm pleased with his performance. But yeah, I mean, lots of positives to talk about tonight. Pogba, Bruno, he keeps coming deep. He's playing deep and really sort of orchestrating from the middle, which is really good to see. Something that none of us as fans really saw in him, and really has sort of changed his game. But was there any standout performances for you? We'll be positive.
Yeah, it's difficult. You know, it's difficult when you've just lost a cup game. But I would say I'll give good and bad in terms of bad, because I don't think there were many bad performances. But I think Ronaldo left his shooting boots in Dubai. Like I think he was atrocious today. But
Yeah.
in terms of positive performances, kind of hard to say, because the thing with Bruno is I know a lot of people weren't really expecting it from him, but if you watched him, even if you did basic research, like maybe some scout reports, or you went on YouTube and did the YouTube scout thing, Bruno did play deep for Sporting, not all the time, but he was a versatile player who could sort of drop deep and play in that 8 position. His previous manager, I think, used to like him in that role, so I wasn't surprised to see him play there today. In fact, I've been a huge advocate of Bruno and Pogba playing in the same midfield, provided one of them is happy to play the 8. In this case, it was Bruno, I suppose. I thought Pogba was good. I thought Pogba was good, apart from that one time he got a yellow card, and that was really sloppy. Again, trying to be overzealous and show his technical ability when he didn't need to, when he needed to keep it simple. But apart from that,
he saw
he was
an
flawless.
opportunity to win the ball back, and I think it was a bit unfair, really. The card, at least, I think the card probably shouldn't have been given. And listen, you want to see that passion, you want to see that tenacity, and you want to see those players going for those balls. Sometimes we don't see enough of that, and I just think he was a bit unfortunate there.
Yeah, no, don't get me wrong. It was unfortunate. Definitely. It was unfortunate. So I think Pogba had an excellent game. I can't really think of much. I mean, I tweeted like 15 minutes into the game that I thought Sancho was impeccable. Like off the ball,
he was excellent.
Tracking back, positional awareness was very good. Even when he was on the ball, he kept things very simple. So I was very happy with Jadon Sancho. Marcus Rashford, I don't know. I'm on the fence about his performance tonight, but it is what it is. But yeah, I can't think of anyone else, to be honest with you. I can't think of anyone else, and it's a shame. It's a shame. We should be celebrating good performances, but again, it's difficult to do when you've lost in the manner that we did. Flashbacks to the Europa League final. But yeah, it was an interesting one.
Interesting one indeed. Unfortunately, we've not won the penalty shootout. United are out of the FA Cup. Really disappointing to see, but it was a completely different game that we played, but we weren't clinical enough. Tom, good to have you back, buddy. How are you feeling after that? You're on mute, bro.
Mate, I don't want to swear, but fuck me, I'm dejected. Honestly, I'm so dejected. Like, we can sit here all night long and argue about the handball and all that. We just didn't take our chances tonight. We had so many chances and we didn't take them. And we've got ourselves to blame in that respect. Yes, we were absolutely robbed. And if Anthony Taylor referees a game, like I said earlier, if Anthony Taylor referees a game in the next 6 months, I'll be absolutely fuming. That bloke had a nightmare tonight. We were robbed in the simple fact of, and I don't want to get clipped because I'll get angry, because I could get really angry. But look, it is what it is. We lost on penalties, but the one thing tonight is that we took these lot took us 120 minutes, and even through extra time, we didn't look like scoring. We didn't create chances. we've got ourselves to blame. And at the end of the day, we lost on a penalty shootout. It is what it is. Like, Anthony Elanga missed the penalty, but the whole Stretford end, the whole of Old Trafford was singing his name after the game. And that's the biggest takeaway I can get from that.
Great to see. And we're joined by Shane. Good to see you, bro. I'm sorry it's not under more positive circumstances. Tell me how you're feeling, bro. It was poor in the end, wasn't
it? Yeah, not great. I felt first half performance was good. Since that was pretty much the same as it has been under Ragnick. I thought fairly poor. Not too much to say, to be honest. We're almost kind of lucky we got the penalties at one stage, I think, and everyone knows with penalties is a lottery. There's not much you can do. I'm kind of disappointed Shaw didn't put himself forward for a penalty. Elanga is only young fella, you should kind of stand up, put your name forward. I don't know, there's not too much to say. I thought we were really poor again. Yeah, I don't know.
Absolutely.
Another season without a trophy.
You and I have spoken about Paul Pogba many times, and we absolutely love the guy. And whether or not he's going to stay beyond the end of the season, that's obviously out of our hands completely. But were you impressed with his performance, Shane? I thought he was excellent. I think the game changed, as we've all said numerous times, when he came off.
Yeah, I thought he was very good, especially first half. I think he was probably our best player. Second half, he kind of faded. I don't know how much that was down to maybe he was just kind of gassed after his first game back from injury, or more so he just kind of had less control of the game in the second half. But yeah, I thought he was really good, and we'll need him to have a strong finish to the season if we want to have any hope of making top four.
Absolutely. Lots of new names in the chat tonight. Really good to have you on board. We've got some great shows coming up, as we always do. James, what the fuck? Kieran Newbury. It was a strange game, wasn't it? It really was a strange game. I think McTominay really limits us in the final third. You know what? Talking about McTominay, we haven't really touched upon him yet. I think he's evolved under Ragnick. I think he's playing that lone DM role fairly good, and has surprised us all. Marcus, do you want to talk about him?
Yeah, I do want to say about Scott McTominay, I think for me the biggest improvement I've seen in him is mentality-wise, right? Like, I think we all know his technical limitations, and I don't think McTominay is going to improve in that side of the game anytime soon, unless he gets some serious patience and, sort of nurturing in that role, whatever role we see him best in. But his mentality's been different, specifically when it comes to playing more forward passes. Like, I've seen a huge difference in the way that he's progressed the ball up the field. Yes, his passes aren't always perfect, but at least he's trying. One of the biggest criticisms of Scott McTominay over the last few years is that he plays too many sideways passes. He doesn't have the bravado that you want of a midfielder. He doesn't take those risks. He doesn't take those chances. And he's been doing that a lot more often now. I think even today he was dropping into the right pockets of space and just making himself available for the back four and being that extra option. And apart from that, I think he had a quiet game, which isn't a bad thing. It isn't a bad thing. I remember growing up and watching Michael Carrick, and I would listen to experts and pundits talk about Michael Carrick and how he almost goes unnoticed. And that's a good thing, because that means he's doing his job. And so I think Scott McTominay tonight did his job as well as he could with his limitations. So yeah, I thought Scott McTominay tonight, I don't think anybody can, really hate on him, even though people will, because that's just the way it is. And yeah, but just to address that comment, he was playing as the six, so his job is to drop deep.
Yeah,
he was playing as the six tonight. Yeah, he was playing as a six. I understand that people see Scott McTominay as a box-to-box midfielder, but tonight specifically, the whole point of him playing in that position and dropping deep was because he was instructed to do that. Pogba and Bruno were not going to take the defensive responsibilities. That's what Rob wants. So, I don't get why people are, upset at McTominay, of all people tonight. Like, really, turn it in, man.
Yeah, I can't be upset with anybody tonight, to be honest with you. I thought we were far better. I thought we controlled the game. We looked jaded at points, absolutely. Shane hit the nail on the head, but I felt that we really, if we'd had our shooting boots on, as we said earlier, Sancho could have had a hat-trick of assists tonight, and it was the person and the player that it fell to that just weren't clinical enough, and that was our problem. 30 shots, 9 on target, and 1 goal. says it all, quite frankly, and that's poor. And I'm sure that will be exactly what Ralph will be looking at when training is back on, whenever it will be. Shane, you wanted to make another point, mate?
No, just to comment about McTominay. No, sorry, yeah, but just to comment about McTominay when he said he drops too deep. I was going to say, if I think there's times he doesn't drop deep enough. I do like, you want your six to drop in between the centre halves to collect the ball, and he was doing that tonight, which is good. I was just going to say to the comment that I actually think he doesn't do that enough. Sometimes he'll be too high up where he can't collect the ball, but I don't think that was an issue tonight. I think he was right to drop deep to collect it. Like.
Yeah, that's the role. That's the role he's supposed to be playing. That's the role. I was doing my research. I was doing my research. I agree, today, and I was doing so much more research. I thought, do you know what? I want to get. Look, we're stuck. We're not stuck. I don't want to say stuck, but we are in this regime that we're in to the end of the season. So I did a lot more research into Ralph Rangnick today. I did a lot into Erik ten Hag. I did a lot into what Pochettino, and every single one of them will demand one pivot. You either play one pivot or you play two pivot players. And today, Scott McTominay played that role, and he played it really well. To be fair to him, he played it well, but there's so many times where he finds himself drifting. But when he's in this position that he needs to be in, he finds himself out of discipline. And it's a disciplined player. And I said it earlier on, and I'll say it again, and I'll say it all over the summer, and when we build up to this new manager comes in, whoever comes in has got a hell of a job on their hands, because we're not talking about 2-3 players. We're talking about 4, 5, 6 players that need to come into this team and be able to do it. Right, Erik ten Hag, for instance, if he was to come in, he had 3 options at the number 10. We've got 1. We've got 2 with Donny coming back. Let's see how that goes. But he always demands 2 holding midfielders that play the box. We haven't got that tonight. We haven't got that. And as much as and one thing that surprised me actually with Pogba, he played that role tonight. I thought Paul Pogba tonight was fantastic to come back off the layoff that he had, to put in the performance he had. Yes, everybody can say, "Oh, it's Middlesbrough." Doesn't matter. If he can come in and do that every single game, you can't ask many more questions of Paul Pogba. He was fantastic. Scott McTominay played that role really well.
Kieran, just quickly, Grant, before you come in. Sorry, Tom, to cut you up there. Kieran absolutely agrees with you. Pogba looked so tired the second half, which was a shame. It's his first game back. You know, you can't expect miracles, and he wasn't going to play the full 90 minutes. Most certainly, and obviously didn't, but I thought he was exceptional. Grant, you wanted to come in, mate?
There's 2 things I want to say. Alex Bruce, who was doing Radio Manchester tonight, has just come up with this comment. I want everybody's thoughts on this. I don't think Manchester United did enough on the night in total to win the game. So that's a pretty interesting comment to start off. I think Middlesbrough matched them in every department. Where do United go from here? They just have to try and get into that top 4 and try and do as well as they can in the Champions League. That is all Manchester United have left to play for. And just one last thing. Paddy McNair has said to ITV, it was unbelievable. We started the first half really slow, but we deserved the win overall. They weren't taking their chances, and that gave us a massive lift. We were on very good form. We rode our luck at times, and I had 7 very good years here. But that Bruce comment, when he says, I don't think United did enough to win the game in total tonight, in the first 70 minutes, or certainly up to the Boro goal, they did far more than anything in the game. But once Boro scored, the energy sapped out of the game, and then that comment potentially stands. But I'd love to know what everybody else thinks.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I'm not quite sure how people can feel that way. Just quickly, Shane, before you come in, buddy, played as good as we've done in a long time, undone by a strange and he's being kind refereeing decision. Shane.
Yeah, United played well in the first half and created bare chances, but that's not enough if you don't take it. We were all laughing at the Brentford manager when he said that they played us off the park in the first half. They didn't take their chance. The game isn't 45 minutes. The game is 90 minutes. We battered Middlesbrough the first 45 minutes. As far as I'm concerned, after that, and including extra time, they're the better team, so they definitely deserve to win more than us. You know, we created enough chances the first half to win 2 or 3 games. We wouldn't take them. It doesn't matter. You know, you have to score when you're on top, and you didn't. You know, so there's no, like, I know, you want to be positive, and we played well, but it's not enough. You know, playing well for 45 minutes isn't nearly enough. It's nowhere near good enough.
Can I also just say, like, also the whole thing of we played well. We did play well in the first half, but, you know, for me, I'm not trying to be negative or bring the show down because, there's nothing else I can say to really bring it down after that penalty shootout. But, Middlesbrough are a championship team.
Thanks,
We
mate.
should be playing well against them. We really
Yeah.
should. So for me, yes, we did play well, and I do want to celebrate some of the good performances. But at the end of the day, let's not pretend like that's something we should be clapping and something we should be, over, hyping, because we should be playing well against a team in the championship across the 90 minutes, let alone the first half. And for me, the disappointing thing is in the second half, particularly, we just didn't do the basics right. We didn't keep our shape that well. We almost started to become kind of, loose on the ball and ill-disciplined. And I'm not really sure.
Chris Wilder on
even
the
Wilder
handball
even
incident.
thought
I
it was a
thought straight
handball.
away it was a handball. I'm
Oh, wow.
delighted it wasn't.
Yeah.
There
If
you
I
go.
could,
And
if
also,
I
can I
could,
just say,
Marcel,
sorry, Tom, can I just say, with regards to the handball, I agree that the handball should have gone our way. The handball decision should have gone our way. But at the same time, we also missed the penalty. Bruno missed an open net as well.
Absolutely agree with you, Marcus.
So
absolutely agree with you.
I want to sit here and talk about the referee, but I can't do it. I'm just not that type of person, because there were so many chances we had to go up in that game. And Ronaldo, if he just scores the penalty, what? Why?
It was our game to lose. We can sit, as you say, we can sit here all night and bemoan the ridiculous decision, which it was. But we had ample opportunity to score. We did control the game for vast majority. We didn't take our chances. We missed a penalty, and sometimes that's just the way it works out. And you're absolutely right. Very disappointing. Obviously, that's another potential. Silverware that's gone out the window, and now we've got to put all our eggs in two more remaining baskets: the Champions League, which we're going to win, and the top 4 trophy. But we'll have to wait and see. Listen, it's been an hour and 13 minutes, and
if I could, Mark, before we do.
Sorry, Tom. Yeah, go for it, bro.
I just wanted to follow on what Marcel said there. Marcel's absolutely bang on. No, what's his name? Sorry, Marcus. Sorry, Marcus. Marcel. Marcus. No, he's absolutely bang on. He's absolutely bang on though, because there was some fantastic individual performances, but on a whole, as a team, it just wasn't good enough, was it? Let's be honest. And I am lost for words at the fact that we've lost this game tonight. But let's be honest now. We're talking about Champions League. I think honestly, you can call me demented or whatever you want to do. I think there is a possibility that we could beat Atletico, but I think now this is the chance for us to actually regroup as a whole and say, look, top 4's got to be everything now, surely.
Yeah, it has to be.
I don't think we'll get top 4 though. I genuinely don't.
I don't think so either, man. I think we probably have
a tough one.
That's only because teams have got games in hand against us. But we're talking about teams like Spurs. They can't win games. They're not as good as them. Spurs can't win games. Look, Arsenal. They're on a downward trajectory. This is our biggest chance now to save our season. It's top 4 or bust. Now it's top 4 or bust.
I agree. I don't think Arsenal or Spurs are very good, but we are not very good either. We've been behind them for the whole season so far, and our squad is weaker now than it was, say, 2 weeks ago. So I'm just not very. I do think we've more quality overall, but we're underperforming so much all season, and I'm struggling to see how we're going to turn that around. Everything I heard about Ragnick when he was coming in, what I thought he was going to do, and what we are going to improve on, I'm just not seeing it.
But he has.
I feel like in the last few weeks
he has
improved.
He has improved.
There's been there's been improvements.
There's a
for example, I was going to
There's a
mention
massive
earlier, I feel like we are so much more assured defensively. Whilst we can talk about the midfield and creating chances.
Go on, Mark.
Absolutely.
Player of the month. So I think it's fair enough to say we are still giving up chances. We give up a lot of chances here. I think we are a little bit better defensively, but I mean we are a joke. We are shipping 4 goals to Watford under Ollie, so I don't think that's a very hard thing to do. I still don't think we're a good defensive team. I just think we're somewhere more near. We're just not as underperforming as we were. I still don't think we're a good team in any aspect. I still don't think we're a good pressing team. I still don't think we're good defensively. I don't think we're good at playing out from the back. I don't think we create a ton of chances. Albeit we did create a lot of chances tonight, but on the whole, I still think we struggle to create chances.
Can I come in, because Ralph Ranić has said something after the game. He says, incredibly disappointed. We should have won and killed off the game in the first half. Crossbar, post, missed penalty, and numerous chances. It should have been 2 or 3-0. We conceded a goal, which I don't understand why it stood. He controlled it with his hand. In the moment when they scored, it was clear that VAR would not allow this goal to stand. We were not well positioned in that moment to open and allowed them the counter. We should have won the game. Anthony Elanga, anyone can imagine how he is. He is shattered and absolutely disappointed. It was the 8th penalty, which had all converted.
But he shouldn't be. He shouldn't be shattered, because look, it is what it is. And Ralph Ranić there is absolutely bang on. Look, at the end of the day, we had the chances. We didn't take them. That's football. It's the way it is.
Yeah.
Can I also just say, like,
you win some, you lose some. Yeah, go on, Marcus.
Exactly.
Why does every team turn into the best team to ever take penalties in history against us? Like what's that about? Like, seriously.
Those penalties were
they were ridiculously good.
But I also think as well, to come on to Marcus's point before he goes any further, I said earlier on that penalties are a lottery, and they are to a point. But I also think as well, there's a skill in taking good penalties. Struan knows this, being a Scotland fan, because when Scotland got through those matches against Israel and Serbia, we had good penalties in those matches. So, there is a skill to be taken by penalty. There is a bit of luck as well, because your goalkeeper does have to either. But I just wanted to jump in there before Marcus made his point. I wasn't saying anything else. I was just saying that point.
No, 100%. And there's a lot of fans, I don't want to use the term casual because maybe that's disrespectful, but there's a lot of fans who don't really like to overcomplicate the game and will just be like, oh, it's just bad luck, whatever. But correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm sure some of the older fans might know, but we've never won a penalty shootout in the FA Cup, right? And out of the last, I think, 8 or 9 penalty shootouts, we've only won 1.
7 out of the last 8 now, and 0 in the FA Cup.
That's scary.
Yeah, so like that can't be luck. Like why is Manchester United the team that was gifted with this bet? Like, for me, you've got to be a little bit more constructive with your analysis of the game and say maybe, I don't know what it comes down to, but I don't blame De Gea for losing in the Europa League final. It is what it is. He missed it. It happens sometimes. This time it was Elanga, but there must be an underlying issue, man. Like, there's no ways Sevilla and Middlesbrough are like that good at taking penalties. Like, there's no shot. I bet if we were in the AFCON against Cameroon, they would have scored every penalty. They wouldn't have been that bad. That's what it feels like to me, and it's crazy. It's just crazy.
I do think the team is very weak mentally anyway. I do. You see that when you go and play the smaller teams away from home.
I'm not going through this again.
I mean, listen. All I'll say is.
What are you talking
All I'll say is, for me, I kind of agree with Shane. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole as to why, but I do agree that there is a mentality issue in this team, because I feel like every time we get to a hurdle and an important part of the season, we always kind of bottle it. And I feel like a lot of the players in that dressing room who haven't really built up a career of winning things, are partly part of the reason, in my opinion. I feel like there isn't really a winning mentality in that dressing room, and that's just me. So I think that's part of the issue.
There's so many of these players that have won nothing in football. I don't want to call them serial losers. Harry Maguire, had never played a game in Europe. There's so many of these players, they've never been in a title run. They've never gone deep in the Champions League. They've never played in the biggest game. And whenever the going gets tough at United, we fall apart. We did in the Europa League under all last season. Last season, the second we went top of the league and people were starting to whisper about us being in the title race, we fell asunder. Because the players, they're not about it. They don't have the head for it. They're too fragile mentally. And I'm not saying that's all the issue. Obviously, the ability of the player and the coaching is obviously a massive part as well. But you can't, that is an issue as well. These players don't want to know about it. They can't hack the pressure. And I think that's so obvious. It was the year before last year in the semi-final Europa League.
I don't disagree with you. I do think that there is a not a mentality problem as such, but they need to have a bit more of a winning way about them, whether that's actually winning or just building up that momentum.
We've been bottlers.
Well, listen, you can't argue with that really, You know, we bottled a Europa League final, set up wrong, probably played the wrong personnel, struggle again in the FA Cup, bottled it against West Ham, Carling Cup. Do you know what I mean? And there certainly is questions about the winning mentality, and we need to regain that from somewhere. Listen, guys, I really appreciate you giving up your time tonight. I'm going to end it there. It's been an hour and 21 minutes. Thanks for everybody for tuning in. It's not the result we wanted. It is unfortunate, but listen, as cliche as it is, we've got to pick ourselves up and we go again next Tuesday, and that's obviously
we go again, bro.
We go again, bro. Exactly. But yeah, thanks for everybody coming in and tuning in. Make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe. And we've got some great stuff to come. We've got another Devil's Advocate on Sunday, which will be obviously talking about this as well. Thanks, Tom. Anyway, listen, speak to you all soon. Thank you.